Hello beautiful souls, it is Christmas night and I've just come in here to do a video on something that I just saw on YouTube that needs to be talked about, and I want people to go into 2026 with clarity. So this has been some stuff that's been talked about and gone around over the last few years, and let me just do a little spray. I've got no makeup on, it's late at night, I was ready to go to bed. Just going to clear the energy a bit here. And what I want to say is, you may or may not have seen lots of people over the last couple of years talking about they were really new agey. They might have had a ton of followers. It's actually a lot of people that have had a lot of people follow them and pay for their expertise, their courses, their training, their everything. And now all of a sudden these people have just gone, over the last couple of years, oh my God, the new age is all demonic, and I've been following it and I've been doing this and I've had this mass awakening with Jesus, and so off I've gone now with Jesus, and please everybody be careful of the new age. And you get where I'm going with this, right? There's a whole theme about it. I've been watching it and I've done a couple of little videos on it, but not to the degree that I want to talk about it now. So firstly, I want to say that I'm going to clear this up, because some of you follow people that are still out there doing new age work, and well, if they call it new age, people have their own way of what they say is new age and what is not, but channeling or readings or all of that sort of stuff, what they're doing, there definitely are charlatans out there. There definitely are people that are trying to take people's money. There definitely is all of that, so discernment is key. But what I want to say about the difference with this is you will be here, and then you'll have this awakening and go here, and then you'll come back to here. And so let me explain this. So when we go through stages of our own spiritual evolution, we are maturing through those stages. Spiritual maturity is what it's called. And so you may start here, and you may, when we first start and you're starting to evolve, if it depends on how long you've been on the path, it depends if you've been actively in tune since you're a little child or whatnot, but let's just say you're starting to go down that spiritual path, and you're listening to a lot of people and you're seeking externally, okay, and you start working with guides and angels and start learning what's what, and how to do readings and how to tune in and do all this stuff, right? And then you start following this person and that person, and then you start listening to what they're going to say, and you take on that, and then more and more and more and more. And it's a lot of seeking externally, because let's face it, people wake up and go, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What the fuck's going on? Like I've just had this awakening and I need help. So bang, they start listening to videos and people, and that's fair enough, because that's what we're out there to do, help people. But there is people that do go down the wrong path, and so then the people they're teaching are obviously, they're enticing them to go down the wrong path. However, I use the term right and wrong in a duality form. I use it sort of a little bit freely, because if people are drawn to go down a certain path, often there is a lot of teachings and learnings that they have to learn within themselves to go down that path, okay? For a start, they don't have discernment. If they're continuing on with somebody that is channeling from false light, or doing whatnot with all of that, then they're not in a discernment state. They're not connected to their true authentic self and their soul, like their actual light spirit, their authentic light divine self. They're not connected to that. If they're just following that light, right? People have said to me for years, how do you know the difference between the false light and the real light? How do you know the difference between the false new age and the real, or the false this or the false that? And it takes a lot of really coming from within, right? Spirituality is about coming from within, tapping in first before you seek externally. So we all watch other videos and see what people are doing, and we all pick up tips and all of that sort of stuff. But discernment is key. You don't just jump on someone's wagon and keep following that, right? And not actually go within. When you are channeling authentically or dealing with authentic light, authentic divinity, there's a difference in the energy, okay? Now, some people go down this path. I'm trying to make this quick, all right, because we're up to 5 minutes already, but some people go down this path and then they suddenly have this mass awakening and connection about Jesus. If you are following the correct divine path, you will already be tapped in to Joshua and Christ consciousness and that energy. And I'm not talking about the indoctrinated part, right? Or the indoctrinated parts of the Bible that have been indoctrinated, right? There is truth, there's a bit of truth and false to all of that. So you have to be discerning of what you're tapping into and who you are working with. And don't just be gullible and go with that. Now, I've had my fair share of being gullible in life about a lot of things, but surprisingly, spirituality is one that I've always I don't know how, because like I said, I've been gullible in other areas of my life, but I've just always known, and you can too, right? So I follow people, or I've know people and all that that I guess what you might deem new agers are into that. They're very authentic people, right? And then I see the people that go, oh my God, like the Doreen Virtues, that, oh my God, that's all false light, that's all evil, that's all demonic, that's all wrong, you know, and you've got to just follow Jesus, you've got to listen to Jesus, you've got to listen to Jesus. Well, you also have to be careful, because the same side, the same darkness that are trying to derail us also have an energy of Jesus that they try and entice people with, okay? Again, there can be false angels, false archangels, false all sorts of energies. So I don't want you to look at this though and listen to this and go, oh God, this is too difficult. It's not difficult, okay? It's not difficult. You just have to seek internally, not externally, with who you are and your spirit, and connect to you. I talk to Joshua all the time, right? But I wouldn't say that I am Christian, following the Christian way, right? I'm not religious in any way. I wouldn't say I'm New Age. I've never said I'm New Age. I've never said I'm Christian. I've always just said I walk a spiritual path. And spirituality, some people go, oh my God, I don't like that word. Spiritual path is when you are connecting to your spirit. Okay, the spirit within is leading and guiding you. And what happens is when you awaken, you will seek the help of your higher self, your guides. Well, we all still walk with our higher self every day, but you might start looking at archangels and all that, and I did that too. And then as I said, some people will go, oh my God, it's all about Jesus. You just ask Jesus and let everything go. Well, that's dangerous too, because Jesus is telling you still have to make that course of action. A lot of people just sit back and go, oh, Jesus is going to fix that. Okay. And then you come back, then you realize, oh, well, that's not the way either. As in, I come back and I have a healthy relationship with myself, connected with, in part, God, Jesus, Joshua, divine, divinity, however you want to say it. So there's that balance in the middle, and that's what people find on their spiritual evolution and path. So the people that are out there saying, oh my God, don't listen to this anymore, you must go to this side, see how you feel into that and how you tune in and what you think. But just know that that it's not that or it's that, it's in the middle, it's the balance. And so this is why we see people do that. A lot of people that follow and worship Jesus never came for people to worship him. He came to show people what they had within them. Right, I'm going to say that again. He never came for people to worship, to stand in a church and worship him. people got it all wrong. He came to show people the power that humans have, the power of our divinity, our light, the realms, the crossing over, the coming back and forth. He came to show us who we are in this vessel. He was one of us in this vessel. But of course, he's become this incredible person that people worship because of who he was. But, and I'm not saying he should not be recognized for who he was and the greatness that he was, but we all hold that within us. We just live in this toxic matrix world that is very hard for people to step out of that and fully tap into their divinity. And most people don't until they pass over into the afterlife and the other realm. Jesus was able to show who we are in our full divinity when he was here. And that's why people worship him. But the message is that we are all that within us. It's just whether we tap into it or not, whether we know we have that. And I mean, let's face it, the world we live in today, you really have to probably be, living like a monk somewhere in the, meditating 8 hours a day or whatnot, to not be interfered with anything and totally away from it all, to be able to get to that stage. Let's face it, let's be honest, right? But it's there, and the greater we understand that and the more we tap into that, the more we do tap into our own light and our magic, the more we do step into the 5D frequency and above, and we can manifest from that. Okay, we can be in that realm. It is the split of energy. When people say we're entering two worlds, it doesn't mean it's physically going to split and you're going to be on that side and we're going to be on this side or whatever, right? It means consciousness. It's a split in consciousness. It's a split in our physical consciousness energy of where we will then create from, who we will be around and living with, and all that sort of stuff, who we'll have in our energy fields. That's why it's a time of people doing different things and splitting off from family and friends and all of that. So I don't want to get into all of that, but I just want to say, please, when you're listening to these videos on YouTube or wherever you're hearing them, when people are saying, don't do this, follow this, right? That is just another form of indoctrination, of following something else, okay? And I see comments underneath and people are saying, hang on a minute, I've given you thousands of dollars over the years, I've followed you for years, you've caused this, and now you're telling me it's all wrong, okay? And so you really have to be careful and be discerning who you are following and what's happening. And usually it's people like myself, us ancient souls that don't have a lot of followers, that are out there exactly trying to explain this, but unfortunately we don't get out that far, right? It's the other ones that do and have all these people following them that don't really know sometimes what they're talking about. So, okay, that's it for tonight. I'm not going to talk anymore. Wow, that's a long one. I think that'll be going up on YouTube. So take care of everybody. I hope you had a nice Christmas today. Some of us don't really celebrate it in the way that others do. Some of us do, whatever. Take care, and just please come back here. Be discerning. If you want help with this, let me know. And I can help get you there. Okay. Take care. Till next time. Namaste.